our friend Jeff Passan broke that baseball and the Players Association are focusing on a plan backed by federal health officials that could have players in training camps by May and games soon thereafter. And he was kind enough to call on the show to put a little bit more meat on those bones. How are you, Jeff?
I am well, Rich. How are you?
I'm glad to hear that. So how real is this plan about, I guess, creating their own bubble world, to use, or bubble city, bubble state, and to use, I guess, the Cuban phrase of what the NBA might be considering?
Yeah, at this point, it's not terribly realistic because there are so many logistical hoops that they need to jump through. The first thing that they would need to do is get players on board and strike some sort of a deal between the players and the league in order to start going ahead and making plans. How many rooms do we need? How many people do we need to make food? How many people do we need to drive buses? Where do we find these people? How do we background check them? I mean, there are, like, I say a million things. There are thousands of things that need to be done before this happens. But the feeling among some people inside the sport right now is that this is the best hope for getting baseball on the field this year. Now, as Major League Baseball said in a statement earlier today, there are other options out there, but most of those options involve waiting. And as we know, and as we've seen in many regards with sports, one wait turns into a much longer one. And when you have a date in mind, it typically gets pushed back. When you do something like this biodome situation, the dates are immaterial because the sanctity of the dome is what is supposed to keep you and those around you and those on the outside safe and healthy. And if they can get buy-in from players to do that, which is going to be really, really hard to do, I think this thing at very least has a chance of moving forward and at least seeing the logistical capabilities and whether they can pull that off.
Well, I guess, and again, it is something you just showed about when we're like, hey, sports is going to have to return. You just went through, and it's even if you do get all the players on board, as you point out, the logistics aspect. Where do they stay? How clean? How can they? They guarantee the cleanliness or the COVID-19 freeness of all of that? And all it takes is one person who drove the bus to break their own containment because makes sense that a family member needs to come to their house for something, and that person ran into another person who had COVID-19. Now all of a sudden an entire major league club gets exposed through all of that. I cannot imagine how to figure all that out. Where is the, I guess, push of this coming from? Was it maybe from the call with the president over the weekend with all of the commissioners, Jeff?
No. This is something that predates that call by a couple of weeks now. And there have been some federal health officials who have been strongly in favor of this plan. And listen, they have their own motivations, right? I think that they see baseball as sort of an opportunity to reopen the country. Now, is it premature? It might be. And is the possibility of baseball not being able to do this realistic? Yes, very. Like, if they pull this thing off, it will be an incredible. If they pull this thing off and they pull it off with the support of the players, and they pull it off and can somehow keep everyone healthy and keep everybody inside the biodome and get buy-in from everyone, it will be an unbelievable feat. That being said, if that is the best option that they've got right now, and players recognize that the only way I get paid in 2020 is if I play baseball games, well, they want to play baseball games. And the as crazy as some of the elements of this are, Rich, and I fully acknowledge they are bonkers, the motivations of players to get paid and of owners to make money are very, very strong.